Today, Wednesday, the 6th of November 2024, we have some hand-picked match predictions to share with you, which will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our members-only match prediction picks as top 10 and top 15 match predictions, which we share to members only to take your winning to the next level, then of course you want to make sure that you join the Level 2 Pro plan to start to have access to all of these features to take your winning to the next level. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video description. You can go ahead, click and navigate to become a member by clicking on the link and joining and start to have access to our top 10 and top 15 match prediction with huge odds to take your winning to the next level. So without wasting time, I'm going to begin with the first match picks of today's list. Looking at the first match pick here, we are looking at Italy Cup women, a match between Bologna women against AS Roma women. The recent performance of Bologna, based on the game they have had, which is the home team, is not as impressive as compared to that of Roma women. And you can see that based on this cup, of course, the home team is mostly from the Serie B women, but that of the away is mostly from Serie A. And teams from Serie A are very strong. Based on recent events they have had, Roma women, which is the away team, is very offensive in the Serie A. And they have also had games recently against Galatasaray women in the Champions League women to tell us that Roma women is very offensive. Looking at the performance of Roma women away based on recent events, you're going to see that they are very good. Having played 2 events away recently, especially in the Champions League women against Galatasaray and Sampdoria, where they had lead. And of course, looking at the performance of home for Bologna, they are not that great. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, of course, Roma is very offensive and they are from Serie A. The fact that its offensive power in the Serie A is very strong, it is going to bring that same form here in this cup. And of course, we are looking at Roma women to lead in full time, as well as the possibility of at least 1.5 goals to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we are looking at Asia in the AFC Champions League, League 2, that is Champions League 2, a match between Bangkok United against Leman Warrior. Of course, looking at the recent performance of these two, you're going to see that the home have proved to be very offensive, scoring between 2 to 3 goals per each event. The opponent, on the other hand, you can see here, its performance is not as great as that of the home. But looking here, you're going to see that this away team mostly had played in the Hong Kong Premier League, as you can see here, in the Senior Shield, and mostly in the Premier League of Hong Kong. But the home here, which is Bangkok, is from the Thailand, that is Thai League 1. And of course, looking at everything in place, comparing the stance of these two based on recent events they have had, I'll share with you their performance. Now, looking at the stand comparison of these two, you're going to see that based on recent events, Bangkok sits on the first position. Having played 3 games, they have had 2 wins, scoring 5 and conceding 2. But the opponent, on the other hand, Leman Warrior, is very conceding. They have had 3 games, they have not had any win, conceding up to 6 goals. So in other words, Bangkok is more offensive and more defensive, but that of Leman is very weak based on defense. And looking at this, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, of course, the home team, Bangkok United, is more offensive. And looking at the weak defense of its opponent, we want to look at Bangkok to try to lead this match in full time. Or as well as, since the defense of the away is very weak, we want to look at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we are looking at Asia in the AFC Champions League 2. But this time, a match between namin against tampa. Looking at this, of course, the recent performance of Tampa Rovers, which is the away team, is very offensive. And they are mostly from the Premier League of Singapore. They are very offensive. And you can see scoring between 3 goals per each event recently. But that of the home, also they are good in terms of scoring. But the conceding power is also very strong. And now comparing these two in terms of stand of the form, you are going to see that these are 2 teams here. That offense of Tampa is very high. You can see 8 matches played, 8 goals scored. That is 3 matches played, 8 goals scored, and 8 goals conceded for 3 games played. Very offensive, and the defense is weak. You can see that of namin. They are also good in terms of scoring, and the defense is not very tight. And looking at everything in place here, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, of course, both of the 2 sides are very good in terms of goal scoring. And since both sides are good scorers, we want to look at least 1.5 goal in full time for this event. We're looking at 2 goals over. Looking here at the next, we are looking at Europe, that is in the UEFA under 19, that is the Europe Youth League, a match between Crvena Zvezda U19 against Barcelona U19. Looking at these two, Barcelona, which is the away team, is very offensive, scoring between 2, 3 and 4 goals per each event. The home, also you can see they are very, very good in conceding power. And the recent stand comparison of these two, looking at the comparison, you're going to see that Barcelona U19, which is the away, proved to be very, very offensive here. They sit on the 9th position and they are the favorite. They have played 3 games, scoring 10 goals and conceding 7. But that of the opponent, on the other hand, proved that they are very conceding. For 3 games, they have conceded up to 7. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, of course, we are looking at Barcelona, which is the away team U19, to lead this match in full time. And since the defense of the home is weak, we also want to look at least 1.5 goal or 2 goals over to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we are still looking at Europe Youth League, but this time Inter U19 against ASena. Inter, which is the home, is very offensive, scoring between 3-4 goals per each event. ASena as well, on the other hand, is also good in terms of conceding power. And looking at the comparison of these two in terms of the stand recent event they have had, you're going to see that as Inter, which is the home, is better. Having played 3 events, they have had 11 goals scored. Very offensive, and the defense is average. But that of the opponent, on the other hand, the defense is not very strong, and we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, both of the two sides want to compete, and the fact that Inter is a very high offensive team, it is going to try to take advantage of the away. So we are looking at the home to lead, as well as the possibility of at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we are looking at Asia in the AFC Champions League 2, this time Al Kuwait against Shabab Al Ali Dubai. For this event, of course, both of the two sides, you can see good in terms of scoring 1 to 3 goals per each event, and even 3, that is 1, 3 and 4, that is 1, 3 and 3, 4 goals per each event. Its opponent, on the other hand, is also very good in terms of scoring 2, 4 and 2 goals, as well as 5 goals per each event recently. Looking at the stands and comparing these two in terms of form, you're going to see that Shabab Al Dubai Ali is very good. 3 matches played, 2 wins, 8 goals scored, and 4 goal conceded. Its opponent, on the other hand, very conceding, and the defense is weak. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, of course, the away team is great at offense, but the defense of the home is not very strong. And since one side is weak at defense, the opponent is going to take advantage of the weak defense. Therefore, we want to look at goals probability, at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we are looking at Lithuania in the A-League, Zagris against Silia Efe. In this event, of course, Zagris is very offensive based on recent event played, and the recent performance scoring 1 to 5 goals, as well as 3 goals per each event recently. The opponent, on the other hand, is also good in terms of scoring, but they do also concede as much. And comparing the stats of these two in terms of form, recent event they have had, you're going to see that the form table proves that Zagris sits on the better place. And looking at Zagris here, you are going to see for 5 events played recently, they have had 4 wins, scoring 14 goals and conceding 6. But the opponent, on the other hand, is not very good in terms of scoring, but the defense is weak. And we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular event, of course, Zagris is very offensive, and the fact that the offense is very strong and the defense of the opponent is not very tight, we are looking at Zagris to try every possibility to lead this game in full time. This is our major pick for this particular event. Looking at the next, we are looking at Europe in the U19 League, Europa League U19, a match between Manchester United U19 against Zagris U19. Looking at this, of course, Manchester United, which is the home, have proved to be better in terms of recent game they have had, comparing to that of its opponent Zagris. And since Zagris is also very offensive based on recent event, of course, comparing these two, you're going to see that both of the two sides are good at conceding power as well as offense. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this tournament, of course, both of the two sides are great at offense. And looking at these two, since both of the sides are also good in conceding, the first leg ended at 7 goals, 5-2. That is 5 for Man U and 2 for Lithuania. This time, of course, both sides are still good in offensive power, and we want to still look at 1.5 goal in full time or 2.5 goals in full time is our major pick. Looking at the next, we are looking at Europe in the Champions League, a match between Bayern Munich against Benfica. Looking at the recent event of Bayern Munich, they are very offensive, scoring between 4 to 5 and even 3 goals per each event. Benfica, on the other hand, is also very offensive. And looking at everything in place, comparing the stands recently they have had, of course, these are two teams, especially Bayern Munich sits on a better place, and the proof that Benfica is good at offense and the defense is average. Bayern Munich also, on the other hand, is also very good at offense and the defense is average. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, of course, both of the two sides are good at offense and the defense is just average. As a result, both of the two sides want to impress, so want to look at 1.5 or 2.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next here, we are looking still in the Champions League, but this time Crvena Zvezda against Barcelona. For this event, looking at the performance of these two, of course, Barcelona, which is the away, have proved to be better in terms of offense compared to that of Crvena Zvezda. And of course, looking at the recent game performance they have played for these two, first Crvena Zvezda, you are going to see that on its own league they are very offensive, and Barcelona also on the other hand is very good, especially in the La Liga. Comparing the stands of these two to look where they stand, the form of these two, you're going to see that Barcelona proved to be on a better place, having played, that is standing on the 10th position for 3 games played. They have scored 10 goals, conceding 3. The opponent on the other hand, of course, proved that they are more conceding, and they have scored just 2 goals for 3 events, conceding up to 11 goals for 3 games played. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this event, of course, we want to look at Barcelona to lead, and the offense is very strong. The defense of the home is not as tight, so we want to look at Barcelona to take advantage of the weak defense of the home to lead this match in full time. We're looking at least 1.5 or 2 goals over to occur in this match. And to those of you who want to have access to our hand-picked predictions, which we share to members only, as well as our top 10 and top 15 list of game predictions, which is upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is, we are preparing to share with you top 10 or top 15 game match prediction on Friday, top 10, top 15 on Saturday, top 10, top 15 on Sunday as our hand-pick, with huge odds for you to take your winning to the next level. For those of you who want to access all of these, then of course you want to make sure to join the Level 2 Pro membership package plan. The link is below this video description to take advantage of this to take your winning to the next level. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye bye for now.